Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Tuesday. It's April 7th. This will be a chart lesson for today, and really it's just a range day. We kind of we it, it's This has been kind of typical when we have a range day. Seems like late in the afternoon they sell off, and for whatever reason we haven't been able to get much higher than this 2080, 2080 area. That's kind of been the strong resistance area lately. We spent most of the day in a tighter range. We really spent from 9 o'clock until 2 o'clock in this real tight range. I know a lot of people struggle with these range days, but these things are so predictable. To be honest with you, I love these kind of days. You just sell the highs and you buy the lows, and every now and then you get something in between. So um, it's to me they're just very predictable days, and I like them. But I know a lot of traders struggle with them because most, if you go read the forums and the trading stuff, they all tell you to buy a breakout high or sell one lower, but 9 times out of 10, they're gonna fail. And when they do work out, they work out great, but you'll go broke trying to find a consistent pattern on that. The most consistent pattern is the breakouts fail. So if you're going to go short, you got to wait on the breakout, like right here. See what would happen if you went short. You probably would have got stopped out, and then it would have went right where you thought. But you wait on a breakout pullback, and this was a breakout to the low side. It pulls back and then it goes lower. And a lot of times you really want to see this act as resistance. I didn't really expect this to go down like this. I just expected it to come back and test the low again, and look what happens. It just takes off, and if you catch this one trade, you can make yourself 2078 or so, 10 points in just a matter of a few minutes there. And you catch a runner. But anyway, I like these kind of days. It started out looking like it was going to be all up. We got a break pretty quickly, retested the high, and then we just went into this little weak, maybe 77 to 82. So about a 5 point range or so. And I really was looking for possibility of it bouncing down here, but it didn't. It just went right on through. It bounced a little bit earlier and then went right on through. But you got a confirmation of that here. But you shouldn't have been. You should have been done by that time. So my cutoff is right around 2, and this barely squeaked in. Um, but it's a failed second entry long that reverses, and you did break out down here. So this is a breakout pullback short. It's a two-legged pullback. It's a huge bearish bar. It's got everything you want to see. Notice the lower highs, the lower lows. It's got everything you want to see this thing go to the next level down here. The first thing I would do would look for a measured move like this, and that's probably why this bounced here. I haven't measured it, but let's just measure it. There's your first, and if you measure from there down, oh wait, actually I should have been measuring from there to there, because this is just a failed breakout up here. And so you measure from there to there, and where does that get you? To right there. And that's exactly why we bounced there, because most of your smarter traders are exiting at the measured move. They're taking some profits, and that's the reason it bounced a little there and then it went on down. And the next place I would have been leery of is right here. But it went right on through that, and it even went right on through here, and then it pulls back and gives you a little breakout pullback short from this double bottom, and makes another leg down. But that takes you into the close. So, but let's talk about the trades. Hopefully, all that makes sense to you. But don't buy and sell breakouts. You want to fade them if you do anything most of the time. So, if it's a strong trend day, that's one thing. But when it's been in range, and you can see early on we were swinging both sides of the EMA. It looked real rangy. This took off pretty good when it broke higher here. It was real tempting to go short here, and you did have your break of your channel down here. But I just think, I think you're better off to wait. Actually, if you're being real aggressive, you might take that That's short, and you should have definitely caught this long. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one green because there's some reasons to take that. This looks rangy. You got a double top right there, but and look how far away we are from the EMA when you've been swinging both ways. And what happens is a lot of traders are thinking, oh, remember what yesterday looked like? And they're thinking yesterday, but it's just a trap, and it's not yesterday. And even though there's some similarities, there's a lot of differences than yesterday. So, but anyway, let's talk about the trades. When I came in, we were working down back to the trend line, possible trend line. This looked pretty good. Actually, I had this up here originally. Uh, but I later moved it down, and you can see that it's right where we turned down. We had an overshoot here is basically what we had, um, and that's going to alert you that there might be a break here. And if you draw your trend line, I don't have that on there. Let me go ahead and draw it. And you get your close outside and move to a new low and it reverses. So that's important there. But that overshoot, then you get to overshoot down here about a measured move. And then look at this reversal. It actually broke below this big bearish bar first, and then it turned and went out the upper side. Just you can go long right there with a stop. If not, when this bar ended, you could try to get in, but you're not going to get much of an opportunity there. And this thing takes off. And if you catch this one trade, any runners would have been safe, and you can ride this all the way up to wherever you want to exit at. And again, we talked about this trade. You got a double top. There's definitely some resistance, and it shoots through it. That's a failed. You could treat that like a failed break higher, but you've had a break of this trend, a couple of legs up to a new high. There's a shorter term trend up through here, probably more like that, and you got a break of it and a new high, and then we're coming down, and you're expecting it might bounce here, but you never get a setup. You don't want to go long above that bar, and you never get a setup, and it actually goes lower. It was tempting to go short there, but you can't go short there. So wait on that failed second entry long, which comes right here. Notice how everything went right through that EMA, pulls back and tests it, and it can't close above it. It pulls back and tests that breakout area across there, the EMA, the trend line. Look how bearish that is. Just go short right there, and off it goes. Another quick, easy move. And then it bounces. You're halfway expecting a retest of this low, but when it doesn't, it just keeps taking off. The only thing you can tell yourself now is, hey, this is probably a range down. We're probably headed back to test these highs. And you can't really take advantage of that but notice how it went through the EMA, pulls back and tests it, and it fails on that second entry. You don't want to be going short right there. Not when we've been swinging back and forth and it went right back through and it pulls back. This is where you'd expect a failed second entry short to occur, and it traps people and goes up. You got to go long right there. Same thing. It broke lower. Just have your stop sitting right there. Either as soon as it breaks higher, drop you a limit order, try to get you a little better entry. But you're not going to get much there, and off it goes. Then it pulls back again. That's the first break of this trend line. I liked it, expecting it to go ahead and test that high. Definitely test this and probably test that high. That's exactly what it does. It backs up. I don't think you want to go long this close into here, even though this would have worked. And this looks like a little two-legged pullback to the EMA, but it's too close to that double top. You just can't go long. And then you get your break. You get two legs up to a new high. And this is a failed break above a double top. Look how far away we are from the EMA. You figure this is going to snap back, even if we're going higher. But everything's looking range now. Really is. And normally you probably want to wait on a second entry, but since this was a failed break higher, I liked it. Turned out to be a pretty good move. Any runners you could have ridden all the way back down. You don't know that it's going to bounce here. I really thought it would go all the way back down, but it turns out this is where your shorter term support is. And this is a good place to think about going long. We had some support there before. You got your break and move down to a new low. There's a little bit of room in there, not a lot. I would definitely probably use a limit order here. It's a little bit aggressive. Turns out to be a good trade. I don't think you want to enter here with all that congestion right there. It's too risky. and it tries to go higher once, and you get a little double top, and then it gets that little failed break up there, and it comes back down. Um, you could almost treat this like a second entry. This was your first entry, pullback, second entry. Even though it went a little higher, um, it doesn't really. You could still treat it like a second entry, and the reason being is because it's going to trap people up here. People that think, oh, now it's going to take off this time, and they get trapped again. And you can tell it trapped a lot of people to the long side that don't know you better not be going long right into that resistance area. And quick, easy move down. Then you get a failed second entry long there and a second entry short. Look at that new low. Pull back first entry, pull back second entry. And there's plenty of room here, and you never know, it may run to this other side. But what happens, it breaks lower and fails again and reverses. There's two measured legs down there. Uh, there's leg one, and then there's leg two. And it went a little bit further, giving you that failed break. And again, there's enough room there. You might use a limit order here, but I think you're okay. You've proven this is support now. Quick, easy move. And then you get that failed second entry long right there, that big bearish bar. And, you know, it would have been tempted to go long right there too, but let me explain. Look, by the time that sets up, it's not a perfect, it's a little bit bullish, but there's 3 bars stacked up. Most of them are dojis, stems on both sides. It can't get back through the EMA. You better sit tight and see what happens. And look what you, and by sitting tight and being patient, the worst that would have happened is it would have went to the top and you get a chance to get short up there. But no, it traps everybody. And if you're still trading, you want to take that short, expecting it to go to at least here. And it'll be a quick, easy move. But look at it, man. That just, the water, it's like turning the water faucet on and walking away. It just, the bottom falls out of it. And this one was right here, right at the 2 o'clock hour. So not much else you could do there. And, but I love these kind of days. You know, once you establish where the highs and lows are, you can almost buy and sell them blindly. You're always better to wait on a break above one of the bars first. And notice here, if you just treated it that way, that would have been the only one. If you bought blindly, you would have lost across here. But by waiting on a break higher, you never get one, so you don't get trapped into that thing. And so that's generally the way I like to do it. Whatever I decide the bar is I like, I'm going to go short below that or long above that bar and let that be my trigger, because if it's really weak, it won't get back above it like here, and it just keeps going. So not much else you can say about today. It's just a big range day, and it spent most of the day in a real tight 5-point range before breaking out late in the afternoon. This looks familiar. If you go back a week or so ago when we started that big sell-off, it looked very similar to this with a big sell-off in the afternoon. So does that mean we're going to get some more price action, that's some more repeat type patterns? We'll just have to wait and see. But when you see something like that that looks familiar, that it did something previously, always pay attention to that. So because generally if it did that one time, if it looks the same the next time, it's going to react the same way. And I think that's pretty important to pay attention to. So, but I'm going to wrap it up, call it a day. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.